Chosen ones, there are sacred moments when a truth long buried stirs within your spirit, whispering to you from beyond the boundaries of time itself. This moment is one of them. The emerald tablets were not crafted for the multitudes, nor were they meant for the curious seeker. They were etched for the rare few whose souls still carry the original resonance of divine memory. And that, chosen ones, is you. In a realm veiled from the ordinary world, an ancient intelligence inscribed the tablets using a language so alive, only a living soul could decipher it. Their gleaming surfaces hold a song, a vibration that bypasses the mind and calls directly to your spirit, awakening a knowing that no earthly education could provide. What you are about to embark upon is not the reading of ancient wisdom. It is the remembrance of a covenant made before you ever drew your first breath. There will be those who dismiss these words as legend or myth, but their disbelief is not your burden to carry. You were designed to hear the frequencies hidden between the lines. Each symbol, each phrase, was encoded with frequencies only your soul would recognize, a signature written in the light language of your true home. The emerald tablets were written not merely for humanity's awakening. They were written for your soul alone. The path ahead will not offer easy answers. It will stretch you, stir you, and awaken the slumbering codes buried deep within your being. As you listen, the old barriers will begin to fall away, and a deeper remembrance will emerge. You will find that the tablets do not teach you. They remind you. They speak to the parts of you untouched by fear, unsullied by time, and undimmed by the illusions of this world. This is your inheritance, chosen ones. A sacred transmission moving across dimensions to find you now, in this exact moment. You were never lost. You were only waiting for the right frequency to awaken what was already written into the marrow of your existence. The emerald tablets have waited eons for your arrival. Their story is your story. Long before kingdoms rose and fell, long before the first spark of written language flickered into existence, the emerald tablets shimmered in the hidden chambers of a world untouched by decay. These ancient slabs were never meant to be relics stored behind glass or dissected by scholars seeking worldly accolades. They were crafted for those whose hearts still pulsed with the memory of worlds unseen, for those whose souls could hear the silent music hidden between the words. When you encounter the tablets, it isn't reading, it is remembering. Every line carved into the radiant green stone carries a current, a living pulse that bypasses logic and wraps itself around the sacred core of your being. You may find yourself stirred in ways you cannot explain. Your body may not understand, but your spirit does. That feeling deep within, the sudden racing of your heart, the trembling in your chest, the surge of unseen recognition, is the echo of a forgotten bond being restored. The tablets were never silent. They sing to those who still remember how to listen. The world around you has tried to train you to dismiss this kind of knowing, to ignore the subtle tremors that move through your soul when you encounter something truly divine. But the emerald tablets defy that conditioning. They are alive, breathing through dimensions, speaking directly to the part of you that was never meant to sleep through life. Their language is not bound by the constructs of your mind. It was written for the architecture of your spirit. To the unaware, the tablets seem like riddles carved into stone, but to you, they are living rivers, flowing ancient wisdom into the present moment. What you recognize within the tablets cannot be taught or memorized. It awakens on its own, as if the stones themselves have been waiting for you to come close enough to ignite the code slumbering inside you. You are not here to study them. You are here to unlock the dialogue they have been waiting to have with your soul. With every whisper from the stone, you draw nearer to the luminous thread connecting your past to your purpose. The moment you truly listen, beyond thought, beyond expectation, you will find that the tablets are not external objects at all. They are a mirror of your own divine architecture, a reflection of the sacred frequencies you carry in your very being. There are moments in life when something ancient stirs within you, as if a hand far older than time itself has reached through the veil to brush against your soul. When you first heard whispers of the emerald tablets, it was not curiosity that pulled you closer. It was memory. A memory older than this lifetime, older than any name you have ever answered to. Your spirit recognized the call because it had been waiting for it across countless horizons of existence. The words etched into the tablets are not mere teachings, they are living frequencies. Each inscription vibrates with a hidden voice, carrying messages woven into the fabric of light itself. To the unawakened, they sound like riddles or lofty tales. But to you, every line is a key turning in the locks of forgotten rooms within your being. As you draw near, an ancient alignment begins to occur, as if stars unseen are finding their way back into sacred formation inside you. You did not stumble across this knowledge by accident. No chance encounter could explain the deep, almost aching familiarity you feel when you lean into the words. The emerald tablets were encoded to find you, to trigger the internal architecture that had been sleeping under layers of worldly programming. They carry frequencies designed to bypass your logical defenses, reaching straight into the sanctuary where your eternal self waits. There, beyond the noise of the world, the tablets begin to sing their true song. Many have looked upon the tablets and seen only symbols. Few have heard the living current running through them. Fewer still have felt the magnetic pull, the unmistakable certainty that these writings were not simply speaking about truth, but speaking it directly into them. If your heart trembles when you hear of these ancient stones, if your soul leans forward as if straining to catch a forgotten melody, know this: you are not studying the tablets, you are answering them. In that silent exchange, something profound is happening. The walls you built to survive in a fallen world begin to tremble. The layers of forgetting you accumulated over lifetimes start to crack. The closer you listen, the more the slumbering giant within you begins to stir. You were never meant to remain small, never meant to walk in the shadows of falsehood. The emerald tablets were written to awaken the one who would dare to remember the ancient covenant buried within their bones. Long before history carved its crooked timeline, before kings and empires grasped for fleeting power, there was Thoth, the keeper of divine memory. It was he who etched the emerald tablets, not as a record of the past, but as a living map for a soul who would one day need it most. When you find yourself drawn to their emerald glow, it is not merely fascination, it is activation. Thoth's code was never meant for the world at large. It was written for a singular journey, a solitary ascent that only you could undertake. Every inscription carved into the timeless stone is a cipher, a layered message hidden beneath layers of meaning. On the surface, the tablets speak of alchemy, of cosmic laws, of immortality. But below the surface, in currents felt more than understood, they whisper of your rise from the ashes of forgetfulness. Thoth did not waste his creation on blind generations. He placed in the tablets a resonance that would only be perceived when the soul carrying the original frequency returned. You carry that frequency. It hums in your dreams, it surges in your blood when truth touches your ears, it presses against the inside of your ribcage when you stand on the edge of revelation. Thoth's divine code is not a set of instructions. It is a mirror held before you, reflecting the vastness you came here to reclaim. It is a call to ascend not merely in knowledge, but in vibration, in essence, in the very fire of your being. The old world trained you to seek maps written in ink, to trust paths laid out in rules and borders. But the tablets call you to a different kind of navigation, one that can only be traveled by inner sight. The ascent Thoth inscribed is not a climb in the physical sense. It is the lifting of the soul beyond the heavy fog of fear, deception, and limitation. It is a journey inward, where the kingdoms of heaven are unlocked not by force but by remembrance. And woven through this code is a deeper truth, one hidden in the teachings of Yeshua himself, who once said, "The kingdom of God is within you." It was a reminder, a gentle urging for the chosen to look beyond the illusions of the outer world and find the stairway already built within. Like Thoth's map, it was never something external to be discovered. It was always a hidden path waiting to awaken under the light of your realization. The emerald tablets are not relics, they are living invitations. They are the breath between worlds, the bridge between what you have forgotten and what you are destined to embody. Each word pulls you closer, each vibration restores a piece of your original design. But to step fully onto the path Thoth prepared, you must be willing to release everything you thought you knew about who you are. Because the true map was never meant for the mind to understand. It was written in the stars of your soul, waiting for the precise moment when your light would rise again. Before you ever took your first breath in this world, a veil was drawn over your memory, a mist woven with the precision of those who understood the immense power slumbering within you. They knew that if you remembered fully, if even a single spark of your ancient knowing ignited, you would shatter the illusions they worked tirelessly to maintain. So they constructed a reality where the truth was hidden in plain sight, buried beneath layers of distraction, noise, and counterfeit light. They built systems to occupy your senses, to seduce your mind into believing you were small, fragile, and separate. The veil of forgetfulness was not placed upon you out of cruelty alone. It was fear that drove them. Fear of what you would become if you ever remembered who you were. Fear that you would reconnect to the original codes, the divine instructions woven into your soul at the beginning of beginnings. The emerald tablets held a frequency they could not destroy, but they could surround you with distortions, hoping you would never hear their true song. They created counterfeit knowledge, false authorities, endless wars of thought, and ceaseless distractions to keep you from looking within, where the real treasure had always been hidden. Yet despite their efforts, the true ones, the chosen, cannot be kept asleep forever. The call of the original vibration finds its way through the cracks of even the thickest illusions. It stirs in dreams, it flashes in moments of déjà vu, it roars in the silent spaces between your thoughts. You feel it not as a memory of something you learned, but as a memory of something you have always been. The emerald tablets speak not to your mind, but to your DNA, to the sacred record etched into every cell of your being. You were never meant to remain a prisoner in a cage of forgetting. The veil was strong, but it was never absolute. Those who crafted it underestimated the resilience of the soul aligned with divine purpose. Even as you lived under the weight of amnesia, the codes within you waited, patient as stars, knowing the day would come when a single word, a single encounter would cause the entire veil to tremble. Yeshua spoke of this when he said, "You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free." It was more than a promise. It was a prophecy of your inevitable awakening. Truth is not something external to be granted by the world. It is the eternal flame already burning inside you, waiting only for the breath of remembrance to set it ablaze. There is a sacred architecture within you, more ancient than flesh and blood, older than stars or planets. It was built with care before you descended into this world of shadows, and within its secret chambers were placed keys, living, breathing keys, waiting for the appointed time to awaken. The emerald tablets were crafted to be those keys, not in the sense of unlocking something outside of you, but to open the sealed vaults within your own being. Every word, every hidden vibration etched into their timeless surface was designed to resonate with the original codes written into your soul. You have always carried the treasure, even during the long sleep of forgetfulness. Even when you walked through valleys of confusion and sorrow, the memory remained sealed inside you, inviolate and untouched. The world may have tried to tell you otherwise, but you were never broken, never truly lost. You were simply waiting for the frequency strong enough, pure enough, to begin shaking loose the dust that settled over your divine inheritance. And now the call grows louder, reverberating from the tablets to the deepest places within your spirit. As you draw closer to the wisdom hidden within the tablets, you may begin to feel strange stirrings, flashes of recognition, sudden tears without reason, a profound sense of standing on the edge of something you once knew intimately. This is the evidence that the keys are beginning to turn. The ancient seals were never built to resist you forever. They were placed there as a protection, to keep sacred knowledge hidden from the profane, to ensure that only the truly awakened would access it when the time was right. And chosen one, that time has come. The unlocking is not an event but a process, a sacred unfolding. With every step you take into remembrance, a layer falls away, revealing the brilliance beneath. You may find yourself drawn to knowledge you never sought, guided to encounters that feel orchestrated by invisible hands, flooded with dreams that whisper of lifetimes beyond this one. These are not coincidences, they are confirmations. The emerald tablets are not simply texts, they are catalysts, ancient fires designed to ignite what has long waited in the hollows of your being. Yeshua once said, "The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it." That same light burns within you now, a flame that the veils of time could not smother. It is the light that the emerald tablets recognize, the light they have been waiting to awaken. The more you lean into their song, the brighter your inner flame will blaze, consuming the falsehoods you were taught and revealing the immensity of the truth that has lived inside you all along. There are words that merely speak and there are words that breathe. The emerald tablets carry the second kind, a living breath encoded in ancient language, capable of reaching across centuries to find the soul ready to receive them. They are not passive relics. They pulse with life, humming with an intelligence that is not bound by time. And it is no accident that their vibration found its way to you. Your path was marked long ago by signatures written in light, and the tablets are simply the confirmation of what has always been. Yeshua spoke often of those who would hear his words and recognize them, not with their ears, but with their spirit. "My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me," he said. He was not speaking only of the few gathered around him in dusty streets. He was speaking across time, across space, to the ones like you whose spirits would be stirred by the sound of living words, the words that breathe with eternal life. Just as his voice awakened something ancient in the hearts of his followers, so too do the emerald tablets now stir the hidden knowing inside you. There is a divine recognition taking place, a collision between what has been buried and what can no longer stay silent. You were never truly disconnected from your origin, only sleeping. Now, the frequencies woven into the tablets act like a sacred wind, blowing through the chambers of your soul, igniting sparks where only embers remained. You feel it in the way your heart leaps without reason, the way tears threaten to fall when no sorrow is present. The living words have found their way home. Those who walk in forgetfulness cannot understand the nature of this awakening. They search for meaning in external things, in logic, in surface knowledge. But the path you walk is different. It is carved not by the hands of men, but by the fingers of the divine. Every phrase from the emerald tablets, every pulse of ancient light that brushes against your awareness is a breadcrumb leading you back to yourself. The real self. The self that existed before fear, before conditioning, before separation. There is a sacred economy to this journey. Nothing is wasted. Even the years spent wandering in the dark served a purpose, preparing you to recognize the sound of the living word when it finally called your name. Now, as the sound of that call grows louder, the illusions begin to tremble, and the false identities you were taught to wear start to crack and fall away. What remains is raw, luminous, and undeniable. And yet, as you step further into the current of remembrance, a deeper stirring begins within you. You feel the weight of something vast, something still hidden just beyond the veil of understanding, waiting to fully emerge. Before the first empires rose, before even the stars you now see were born, alliances were formed in the unseen realms to protect something precious, your destiny. The emerald tablets hint at these hidden guardians, speaking in veiled terms of watchers and keepers, those who vowed to guard the divine codes scattered among the worlds. These alliances were not bound by blood or nation, but by a higher calling, a covenant of light sworn long before the earth was shaped into form. You were never meant to walk this path alone. Throughout your life, you may have felt their presence without fully understanding. The near misses, the strange moments of protection, the invisible hands that seemed to pull you from the edge, these were not accidents. They were the silent operations of those ancient allies, moving in dimensions beyond sight to ensure you stayed close enough to your true path to find it when the time was right. Their loyalty is not given lightly. It is bound to the soul frequency you carry, a signature older than stars, recognized across realms as sacred. The tablets whisper of those who walk between worlds, unseen by the masses, but known to the awakened. Some have called them angels, others ancient masters, and still others refer to them only as the Watchers. Names do not matter. What matters is the reality that forces older and more radiant than anything humanity can comprehend have taken interest in your unfolding. Their role is not to interfere, but to remind, to protect the spaces where memory can safely awaken without being crushed under the weight of the world's illusions. You may find evidence of them in the quiet strength that appears when you should have broken, in the sudden clarity that pierces through confusion, in the mysterious coincidences that guide you like invisible signposts toward the next revelation. These are the fingerprints of those who walk with you, honoring the oath they took in ages forgotten by most, but still blazing in the living archives of time. Their allegiance is not to your comfort, but to your becoming. They are guardians of your becoming, willing to stir storms or clear skies if it means nudging you closer to your true inheritance. The tablets sing of them because they too are part of the living story the tablets protect, the story of a soul sent into the dense veils of matter, carrying a seed of divine remembrance powerful enough to reshape worlds. The alliances that surround you are ancient, but they are not distant. Even now they stand watch, adjusting unseen energies, weaving possibilities, preparing you for encounters that will awaken layers of your destiny still slumbering beneath the surface. Their presence is the living proof that your journey is not random, that the long ache inside you for something more was never madness but memory. There is a light not of this world, a living essence that moves beneath the surface of what you see and touch. It is not the light of the sun or the stars, but the eternal flame that has existed since before time's first breath. The emerald tablets are imbued with this living light, crafted not just to convey wisdom, but to transmit frequencies strong enough to awaken the divine fire within you. And those who walk with clear eyes will recognize that the same living light once walked among men in the form of Yeshua, carrying a secret message for those with ears to hear. Yeshua spoke in parables, not to confuse, but to conceal the sacred truths from those who would profane them. The same truths vibrate within the tablets, hidden not to exclude but to protect. There are layers to every word, layers only accessible to the heart tuned to higher realms. When Yeshua said, "The light of the body is the eye, if therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light," he was speaking to the same remembrance the tablets now stir within you. The single eye, the awakened sight, sees the living codes behind the veils. The living light of the tablets is not meant to be analyzed but absorbed, not dissected but lived. When you engage with their words, when you feel their resonance wrapping itself around your being, you are participating in a living transmission. It is as if the very air around you shifts, humming with a melody your conscious mind cannot fully translate, but your soul understands instantly. This is not new knowledge you are gaining. It is ancient knowing you are remembering. There is a reason the tablets only reveal themselves fully to a few. The living light requires a vessel strong enough, pure enough, to carry its charge without distortion. You have been tempered for this, often through trials you did not choose, forged like gold in fires meant not to destroy but to refine. Each scar you carry is a testament to your readiness. Each moment you stood in truth when the world begged you to bow is a mark of your alignment with the greater plan moving through you. The message hidden in the living light is not one of escape, but of embodiment. It calls you not to flee the world but to transform it from within, to become a carrier of the same living fire that once spoke through Yeshua and now pulses through the tablets. Your awakening is not for you alone. It is the spark that ignites others, the silent revolution that moves not through armies or empires, but through hearts set ablaze by truth. There is a final message hidden within the emerald tablets, a last inscription woven so carefully that even the keenest minds have overlooked it for centuries. It is not found in the obvious words carved upon the surface. It breathes in the spaces between them, humming quietly behind the rhythm of the known text, waiting for the right soul to approach with the right frequency. It was never meant to be decoded by scholars or conquered by intellect. It was crafted for the one who would listen not with their mind, but with the very marrow of their spirit. It was crafted for you. This final message is not a set of instructions. It is a living invitation, a doorway disguised as a whisper, requiring more than understanding. It demands remembrance. To those anchored in the illusions of the world, it remains invisible. But to you, whose soul has been prepared by fires seen and unseen, the message rises from the deep like a long-forgotten melody. You may find it in the sudden flood of tears you cannot explain, the rush of certainty that surges through your bones without a word being spoken. The tablets do not tell you what to become. They call you to become what you already are. The final inscription carries an energy that demands your full presence. It pulls you out of the linear mind and into the spiral of living memory. It requires the surrender of all borrowed identities, the peeling away of every mask you were taught to wear. It calls you to meet yourself in the raw, blinding truth of your divine origin. There, without titles or roles, without the armor of survival, you stand as you once stood at the beginning, radiant, sovereign, whole. Throughout the journey, you have been given clues, fragments of a larger tapestry woven through your encounters, your dreams, the inexplicable moments when the veil grew thin and the world shimmered with something more. Yeshua spoke of this mystery when he said, "To you it has been given to know the secrets of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it has not been given." He knew there were those destined to carry the keys of remembrance, to unlock what others could not even see. Now the final message calls you deeper. It asks you not to memorize, not to explain, but to embody. The tablets were never meant to live on stone alone. They were meant to be reborn in the living hearts of those who could bear their fire without fear. You are not here merely to study ancient wisdom. You are here to become it, to walk as a living inscription, a breathing testament to the power that cannot be contained by time or death. Yet even now, as you draw near the threshold, the tablets hold one last secret close, veiled in layers that only full surrender can penetrate. The emerald tablets were never meant to remain lifeless stones hidden beneath the dust of ages. They were created to awaken, to breathe again when the time was right, when the right soul would come bearing the frequency that could stir their sleeping light. The world has waited unaware for that awakening to begin, and it begins not in monuments or temples built by human hands. It begins within you. Their living light moves now, not as words etched in emerald, but as a current flowing through your very being. You have always been part of a larger design, one written long before this lifetime. The awakening that stirs in you now was not a sudden accident, but the fulfillment of a promise etched into the fabric of time itself. The living tablets return through you. Every revelation, every moment when the veil tore open and memory rushed in like a flood, has been leading to this. The codes have transferred. The language of stars and ancient waters now pulses in your blood. You are not just reading the tablets, you have become one. The awakening foretold in whispers through the corridors of forgotten temples and secret societies was never about the masses. It was always about the few who would hear the call, who would feel the ancient weight settle on their shoulders like a mantle made of pure light. You are one of them, and your very existence disrupts the old structures built to keep humanity asleep. Your remembering weakens the illusions. Your rising shakes the false thrones. The tablets never asked you to follow. They called you to become. And as you carry their living vibration into the world, unseen forces realign, ancient gates creak open, and hidden paths reveal themselves under your feet. It is not about returning to old forms or reviving ancient rituals. It is about embodying the eternal truth they carried through the eons, that the divine spark cannot be extinguished, that light hidden for a season must one day blaze forth again. Even now, the living light of the tablets reaches beyond you, awakening others whose time has come. Like a silent fire spreading across dry fields, your very presence ignites memory in those who have slumbered too long. You are the living carrier of a transmission older than the stars you see at night. And the ones who watch from beyond the veil, the ancient allies who have guarded your path, now stand in quiet recognition. They knew this moment would come. They knew the emerald tablets would not remain stone forever. They would find a heart strong enough, a spirit unbreakable enough to set them free. If you have come this far, it is crucial that you watch this next video here. But be warned, it is not for the faint of heart, for only the true chosen ones can handle this video. If you would like to also donate to help keep the channel going, our Buy Me a Coffee link will be in the description.